Good morning, North Carolina Prepper here. I want to talk today about something very serious. The other day, a prepper made a video about shit hitting the fan, and he didn't care, that people were, finding his address and emailing him because his body wouldn't survive shit hit the fan. I really disagree with this. Shit hits the fan isn't necessarily going to be all combat and that. It's going to be, wow, I'm out of power. What am I going to do? Oh no, my refrigerators are not working. And, we prepare so we don't have to stress over things. And when people think about medication, like, oh, well, I've got to get stock this antibiotic and that antibiotic and this. Yeah, antibiotics are good. How many of you used in the last year? It's just that you feel you can't get it. Well, how much pain medication have you used last year? Ibuprofen or aspirin or whatever. I think to be functional, and during anything, you're gonna need pain meds. I'm pretty old. I'm in my 40s. That's like almost dead, I think. But before I go on a long hike or something, I'll pop 2 ibuprofen or some NSAID, usually ibuprofen, maybe naproxen, whatever. But I'll do that, and I won't have to suffer later on. It helps with knees and ankles and all kinds of things. Now, everybody should know or look into and learn now, while technology and energy and fuel and resources are plentiful, pretty much unlimited if you have funds, but everything is. You need to look into pain management techniques that don't involve drugs and painkillers. Some people have serious nerve issues that cause a constant nagging pain. You can manage it for the most part with stretching or exercises. Rest positions help it feel better. I have a bouts of sciatica. I'll tell you, man, ibuprofen is really good for that. But I refuse to rely on narcotics or other painkillers that probably won't be available long term if shit hits the fan. Not to mention my profession doesn't lend itself to being high or attenuate my awareness. Now, I understand that some pain simply cannot be controlled without drugs. And I'm sure some of you have already made progress with your doctors as far as stocking up on such things. Whether you use them or not, I'm just saying have it there. I'm not going to get into legalities here or right or wrong. I'm just going to say things and you can do whatever you want. In fact, don't take my advice. I'm probably an idiot. But if you have chronic pain relief, you got to do what you got to do. A while back, one of my friends was working over in, I don't know, Ethiopia or something like that. And they were dropping off these sacks of grain to the people because they were hungry. Like, here's wheat, and you could grow fields and this and that. The problem was everybody was taking it and grinding it into flour and making food with it. And I thought, man, these people are freaking stupid. And he explained to me, no, you gotta do what you have to do now to survive. They ain't gonna live long enough without food to grow crops. But here, this bag of wheat will make flour now, and you can survive. So you gotta do what keeps you alive right now. A lot of people are out hiking, and you'll find them dead of thirst with a canteen half full of water because they were rationing water. Do what you got to do now. I mean, a wrong decision is often, a shit fan scenario, is better than no decision. Okay, so consider researching natural things. Heat and hot baths go a long way for pain. A long way. If you have passed a kidney stone, a bath as hot as you can take it will help you greatly. Stock up right now on over-the-counter things. Ibuprofen, aspirin, naproxen, acetaminophen, these NSAIDs, all kinds of over-the-counter medications, and hope for the best. I don't know what works for you. Ibuprofen works wonders for me when I have problems. Wonders. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm saying have knowledge. Knowledge is your thing. The problem with drugs, narcotic drugs, opiates, marijuana, is the potential for abuse. And therein lies the problem. In a shit hit the fan scenario, you really don't want to be impaired in your cognitive judgment. I would much rather experience pain than walk around stoned all the time, especially in a survival situation. Let's face it. Some of you are, in fact, on borrowed time. That's just natural selection. If your heart or lungs or brain or spine or whatever is fucked up beyond repair, pardon the language, or you should already be dead, the weak are going to perish and the strong are going to survive. I don't want to be a dick, but that's reality. And whether people accept that or not, it's irrelevant to the outcome. If you want to just hope for the best, hope is basically an excuse to sit around and do nothing. You need to definitely think about this, as it absolutely holds true. But one must keep in mind the effects of any drug, whether prescribed or flat out illegal, will affect every individual differently. I've known many people in my line of work that have been addicted to painkillers. And I've known some potheads, a lot of them. And at some time, I've known people who used pot regularly. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference when they're on or off the drug. You know, you can't tell. I've known people who would take a bottle full of rubbing alcohol and make pot like an infusion in it and put the pot leaves in there and crush it up and let it get in there. And they rub it on their hands for arthritis. These are old people. It works for them. My uncle was a trucker, and he would take a bottle of rubbing alcohol and dump a bunch of crushed up aspirin in there and rub it on his back on long rides because his back would hurt. But I'm getting off topic here. In my experience, there are people who are addicted to prescription meds. Vicodin, Percocet, all that good stuff. The hardcore drugs. I mean, well, hard enough. And they're far worse off than those who are using, marijuana or alcohol. And I don't mean prior to using it. I mean once they became addicted to the prescription drugs. See, your body doesn't need more Vicodin as time goes on. It's just your brain says, I need more Vicodin. It doesn't lose its analgesic properties. You don't really need more. You just think you do. Anyway, they become different people once they got hooked on these drugs. I generally had to disassociate with some long-term friends because of pain medication. And these people tend to make their way into heroin and other stuff as they keep progressing. I've never seen the ones on pot get too bad. It's not really a gateway drug, I don't think. I think it's like alcohol, but I don't use it, so I don't care. But it all depends on the individual, and everybody's going to be different and act different. Let me think. If you do a quick search on Google, it talks about pot being harvested between 2 and 4 months. I don't know about potencies or all that, or the kind that gives you headaches or whatever. My drug of choice is ibuprofen. But and shit hit the fan or end of the world. Not a small shit down like a month or two. I'm talking like an EMP that's going to cause widespread problems for a lot of people. But in a Teowaki situation, on the end of the world as we know it, it'll also be the end of law as we know it. So repercussions should probably be at a minimum. But remember, no matter what happens, we will return to a state of law, and you'll have to account for what you've done. There's no free rides. There's no, it's the apocalypse, I'm going to settle some blood feuds. You really shouldn't do that. It won't work out well for you. At this time, if I was you, I would have a chat with your doctor. I'd be honest, say, look, I want long-term storage. I mean, right now you can get 3 months at a pop for medication, maintenance meds, I guess, and get a bunch of refills and refill it. Go to Walmart and get like 3 months of pills for $10 or whatever they charge. For their generics, and go be happy. Um, some states it's already acceptable to have marijuana, like California, and I guess New York is doing it now too. I guess, but talk to your doctor and see. If I don't feel like taking a ibuprofen or something, and I want long-term lasting use, relief, I break out my TENS unit for my sciatica, which is not all the time, but I have a little bit of sciatica, and I don't know what's going to set it off, but I break out a TENS unit I got off eBay. I have years worth of electrodes, little sticky pads with foil on them. Years. Each pack lasts about a month. Now, a lot of you are thinking about opiates, in the shitty fan scenario. In North Carolina and a few other states, you can actually get codeine over the counter. Robitussin AC, or a lot of the cough medicines AC have that in there. I think there's 10 milligrams per whatever dosage, per unit you use. Also, it depends on your pain. Sciatica can be used, massage can help with that a lot. So, you might want to look into massage therapy. Now, how should I put this? You can get over-the-counter drugs and get the same pain-relieving effects as the narcotic drugs. This isn't good on your body. It's bad. I have been told all my life never to mix NSAIDs. Never. It is bad. It's horrible. It's bad. Don't do it. Yet I had a dentist tell me that if you mix Tylenol and ibuprofen, it'll give you the effects of a Loratab without the negative effects. It'll probably hurt your kidneys and liver, but you've got to do what you got to do now. There are many, many internet doctors, as well as internet Rambos and Bruce Lees. Everybody's a professional. So for this article, you can call me Dr. Bruce Rambo. Just kidding. I'm going to include a chart in the notes here that show the equivalent things of medication. For example, ibuprofen is 1/150th of morphine. So 1 unit of morphine, you need 150 units of ibuprofen. Now, everybody's going to absorb medications different and this and that and different effects, but oral morphine, I don't think that 2 ibuprofen, which is about, I guess, 1,000 milligrams, is equal to a couple units of morphine. At least not in me. Or oral morphine. But this is what they say. It's compared strength of morphine. This is off a website. I don't know if it's accurate or not. It's the only thing I could actually find. So I'll include this, and you guys can do what you want with it. But you need to think about pain management and shit at the fan. Over-the-counter drugs can really do a lot of wonders, and they can do a lot of harm to your body. So you need to think about all that and all the aspects of it, and try not to kill yourself, don't hurt yourself. Like I said, over-the-counter drugs here are great. They're good to have. Naproxen, ibuprofen, Excedrin, aspirin, whatever. Get whatever you can now and put it away and learn how each drug affects you. Like I said, for nerve pain, ibuprofen is really good. And that's what a lot of people have, is nerve pain. It might tear up your stomach or cause ulcers or bleeding. I wouldn't want to take, 5 ibuprofen. But if I'm out in the middle of the woods and I chip a tooth on something and crack it down there, I'm going to be taking ibuprofen like it's candy. And I will deal with the consequences later, because you've got to do what you got to do now. If every time I take okay, here's a case example. I was visiting some friends, and we went hiking, and I actually had a cavity I didn't know about until I was in the middle of the woods, and it was right in the front, right in my front teeth. So every time I took a breath of air, it felt like my head was going to explode because it was winter, and that's really good for cavities, I guess. I was taking 6 ibuprofen at a time. That's what, 3,000 milligrams or something like that? Way over what you should do it. And you have to take it for a while, but you know, I took it for about 3 days. Every 6 hours I took that. So that's 6,000 milligrams. I think your maximum day is supposed to be like 2,400 or something. I don't know. But you know what? I did what I had to do now until I could get off that damn mountain. So do what you guys think you need to do. Be safe. For God's sake, do research on everything. Know what's legal, know what isn't legal. Make your decisions and live with the consequences. There are consequences for everything, good or bad. Be safe, be legal, be sane. North Carolina Prepper out. Please rate and subscribe.